Well, hello, welcome everybody to The Expert in the House. I'm
Hi,
Bart.
everyone.
This is Melissa.
Great to have you with us tonight. So we're going to walk you through about a 35-40 minute presentation on an overview of ASEA. By no means do we provide all of the information there is to provide, so get together with the person who invited you on tonight's webinar. We'll be providing a really great overview, and we're excited to have your company.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and just share. I'll just tell you that there's basically 8 different reasons why you might be involved or here listening tonight, the reasons why people get involved with ASEA. Number 1, maybe you're dealing with a health challenge, a health crisis. You want to know if there's a way to get on top of your health at a higher level. Certainly we'll give you the answers to that tonight. Perhaps you know someone who you care about, someone that you love, that's dealing with a health challenge or health crisis. You know, I guess the question is if you knew someone who you care about who's dealing with something major, if you thought you had something that could help them, would you tell them about it? Hopefully the answer for all of us is of course. Perhaps looking and feeling younger. Do you know anybody who'd like to look 23% younger in the next 28 days? Say aye. We all would. Yeah, we all want to look our best, and we're going to show you some before and after photos to show you some incredible results that people are experiencing with this technology. Athletes, what would an athlete do to have a competitive edge? Pretty much anything. We can show you how they can do it legally, safely, and you know, if you've got an active lifestyle, in a way, we're all athletes in that regard. We want to get the most out of our day. For us, it was really important to have a proactive approach to health, and so that's pretty major. And then, of course, time and money freedom. This business model is something that we are just so blessed to be a part of. We're so excited about the ability to create the time and freedom through a residual income that this business model can create. Also, there's the idea of being part of something bigger than yourself. I think we all want to contribute to the world. We all want to do something where we're making a difference, not just trading time for dollars. And this is something that that truly can help to do that. And then, of course, a sense of belonging. You know, the people who are associated with this company are just a great group of people, and the friendships that you can make, it's definitely a chance to have a true sense of belonging. So, I mean, I guess the idea is to identify what your reason is. Certainly our 2 reasons are a proactive approach to health and time and money freedom. And maybe you can just share a little bit of your reason why you got involved.
Well, that has to do with our story. So we all have our own individual and unique stories that lead us to where we are, lead us to being on this webinar tonight. And certainly for me, my first corporate career in my early 20s was in the pharmaceutical industry. And I loved the perks that came with that, but it was not something that was in alignment with my values. Having said that, I ended up with an integrity crisis, being in intensive care in hospital, having come down with meningitis and encephalitis from the job, and the nurse wanted to administer me with a drug I was selling in the field, so I knew everything about it and realised, given how sick I was, that if she'd given it to me, I possibly wouldn't have made it out of intensive care. So I struggled to tell her no thank you, but could never leave the hospital the same person I entered it as. So I handed back the company car, got out of the industry, and committed myself to spending the rest of my life educating people about wellness and taking a more proactive approach to their health and more responsibility, which led me into the chiropractic industry, where I co-owned 3 clinics in far north Queensland. A patient approached me in the clinic. We were working really, really long hours, loved everything about it, but didn't have the time freedom. And so I was approached. I was studying an MBA full-time, looking for something else out there that I could give more of myself to. And this made sense. Leveraging time and money and being able to do a business that was word of mouth made complete sense. But what changed everything was ASEA. And it's because, for me, I fell in love with the products, of course. It's the company, it's the people behind it, and it's a sense of belonging and the family that we have as a result of ASEA, which you'll discover more about as we go through tonight's presentation.
It's a pretty powerful story from what you've gone through, and really finding that there's a better way. For me personally, I've been involved with this profession for the last 24 years, and I got to tell you, I just absolutely love this business model where we can make a difference. We can help other people. We've had a couple transitions in our life where a previous company we were involved with kind of lost their way, and we were looking for a new home. I can tell you we were so excited to find ASEA because the integrity is there. It's a chance to be in control of our own destiny. So we're truly excited about that. In fact, what I want to do is tell you that as we took a look at ASEA, in fact, I had a chance to fly to Salt Lake City. Of course, we both met the founders of the company, the atomic medical physicists, and to really appreciate what we've got our hands on. This is a pretty big statement, but ASEA is the greatest health, anti-aging, and sports performance breakthrough of our lifetime. And we're going to go through some reasons why we call it that, but I know that almost sounds over the top, but that is what we believe we've got our hands on as the most significant health breakthrough. And so we're very excited to share that with you.
These products are truly disrupting the industry, and a great way to have a litmus test on that is to listen to the people in the white coats, the scientists. This is the atomic medical physicist who stabilized these molecules outside the body in perfect balance. And he says this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have ever seen. And that's Dr. Gary Samuelson. Dr. Dick Walker, who's an emergency room physician, he has his master's in preventative medicine and nutrition. Dr. Dick, actually, we saw him in Ireland recently. He was studying for 17 years of his life. And he said, we will look back on this decade and see it as the beginning of molecular medicine. Redox deficiency is behind every major disease and illness that mankind suffers. The more you look into this, the more you'll realise that that is absolutely the case. And Louise Gittleman, who's known as the First Lady of Nutrition, she's a New York best-selling author. She said, ASEA, in my humble estimation, is the greatest advance in lifestyle medicine, which harnesses the power of your own body to keep you well. So ASEA really has been, with these redox molecules, the missing link. There is countless research out there, over 160,000 studies and peer-reviewed articles in medical journals. There's over 1,200 books that have been published on redox signalling, and universities are actually opening new centres for molecular signalling in the United States. So these products are not on trial. So good way to look at health is to look at it from the foundational perspective, because these redox signaling molecules, they're actually created by the power plant in our cells called the mitochondria, and they're produced as a byproduct of the mitochondria producing energy, or ATP, in the body. Now these molecules, they're responsible for detecting imbalances at the cellular level, finding those rogue cells, finding the cells that are struggling because they don't have the communication to know, what do I do next? They then protect the cell, which is really important because they need to make a decision. Is this cell worth repairing? Or do we make a decision with the cell as to whether or not it's going to be completely replaced because it's too damaged for repair? These molecules also activate antioxidants. Antioxidants don't work unless they're activated in the body. They are responsible for restoring communication to the immune system. We all know how important the immune system is, and they actually turn on genes across 5 key areas of health. So they're completely foundational. They help the signaling between the 75 plus trillion cells in our body. Cells make tissues which form organ systems, and that makes us uniquely who we are. So when our cells are healthy, we're healthy. When they're not healthy, we may not know straight away that there's an imbalance there, but we will eventually. And these amazing cells do the most incredible life-sustaining job on our behalf and couldn't do so without these molecules.
What's amazing is to think that if your body stopped to produce these redox molecules right now, you would last about 3 seconds. That's how important that they are. This is literally how our body heals, is through these molecules.
And we'll go through in a minute process of how it's created and why it is such a breakthrough, because it was deemed impossible by the scientific community for these molecules to be able to be stabilized outside the body, because they need to be used in a millionth of a second or they turn back into salt water. So Bart had mentioned the importance of them in terms of our very survival, because they are responsible for regulating and repairing every major system in the body: cardiovascular, immune, gastrointestinal, endocrine, musculoskeletal, nervous system, all of them. And to put it into perspective, when you think about messages from the brain, they travel along nerves, your nerves, at 322 kilometers per hour. That's fast. Needs some really fine-tuned communication to make that happen. Taking one step uses 200 muscles, and your blood would have circulated 19,000 kilometres in the last 24 hours. None of that happens without messages from these molecules, which makes them vital, as Bart said, to our very existence.
So this is really important. The important thing to realize is that as we age, we produce less and less of these molecules. So if you think about a little toddler or a young kid, when they get hurt, fall over, get bruised, whatever, they heal very, very quickly. So starting around puberty, around age 12 or so, we produce about 10% less of these molecules every single decade. So someone who's my age and they're 55 or so would produce maybe 50% of the molecules that they used to produce. And someone who's 70 or 80 might only be producing 10 or 20% of these redox molecules. So we simply don't heal and repair as quickly as we used to. So what if we could show someone who's 70 or 80 how they could heal like they're a teenager again? That would be like having the fountain of youth, maybe even the Holy Grail. That's exactly what we've got our hands on, is the ability to replenish these healing molecules to help our body do what it's meant to do quicker.
The other challenge is oxidative stress, which creates massive trauma and damage to the cells. And oxidative stress comes about in a myriad of factors: sunburn, toxins, medication, smoking, negativity. But this is what it actually looks like, because these apples from this image describes or illustrates premature aging and disease. So we've got a normal cell, and then we have a cell that's attacked by free radicals, which are really damaging at the cellular level. And then this would represent a cell with oxidative stress that's crying out for help. It's detached itself typically from the communication network. It doesn't know how unhealthy it is, and it keeps dividing. So that's when we get into trouble. But that's all been taken care of in a very important way through ASEA's product range that Bart's going to share with you now.
So this goes through a 3-day, so our body produces these molecules literally in about a millisecond, and then the body needs to utilize those molecules. Well, how does ASEA do that? It goes through a 3-day patented process where they take exactly the same thing as our body uses to create these molecules, which is salt and water. And then it goes through this process where the molecules, or the salt water, is broken down into free-floating atoms of sodium, chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen. And then what happens is these atoms are restructured through a patented process, and they're stabilized. They're restructured into stabilized redox molecules, redox signaling molecules. So that's exactly how ASEA creates this. This is a bottle of ASEA here. This is the patented technology. This is cellular health from the inside out. Now, interesting, what actually happened is people were taking this liquid, these redox molecules, and they were putting it into spray bottles, spraying it on their skin, spraying it in their eyes, and seeing amazing benefits. So they actually knew that ASEA had a technology for the skin. So they've developed a skincare line. It started out with Renew 28, and this is a gel for the skin. It's a whole for the whole body. So whether it's the face or the arms or the legs, we'll show you some different photos here in a second, but it's obviously been expanded into a full skincare line with a serum, a cleanser, and a moisturizer as well. So this is cellular health from the outside in. Now, one of the questions that I had was, how do we know, for example, that this actually is redox molecules? It's not, for example, expensive salt water. Well, Bioagiletics is a laboratory that works with 21 of the top 25 pharmaceutical companies in the world. And they actually they verify that every batch of ASEA is in fact redox certified. So we know that these molecules, the trillions and trillions of these molecules exist in all these products. So ASEA is the only place in the world where you can get these molecules, with the exception of our own body, completely 100% safe, non-toxic. And this is interesting. It goes beyond being natural, because these are native to your body. It's exactly what your body recognizes. And as you can see, it's all also completely safe and good for you. Now let's just talk for just a moment about the skincare technology, because this is pretty impressive. The skincare industry, by the way, is 20 times larger than the vitamin industry. It's absolutely massive. And we have the only redox signaling skincare system in the world. And remember, this is exactly how our body heals, is through these molecules. So the two products that actually have these redox molecules is the Renew 28, as well as a serum, which is a super concentrated version of these molecules. And then there's also two additional products. One is a cleanser, and the other one is a moisturizer. And these products are designed to work synergistically with the redox molecules. So we'd start with the cleanser, cleanse the skin. You would use the Renew 28, and then the serum for any particular troubled spots. And then the moisturizer, by the way, is one of our favorite products. Absolutely amazing stuff. It's got probiotics for the skin. Again, it's designed to work synergistically with the other products as well. So an incredibly good skincare line. And for example, Dermatest has given it their coveted 5-star seal of approval, meaning that it's completely safe, and they just were blown away with the results. Now, one study that was done with Stevens & Associates, another company, they actually found that there was 100% improvement in fine lines, smoothness of the skin was 95% improved, radiance of the skin, this is an 8-week study, was majorly improved, and photoaging, which is damage from the sun, 92% improvement. So incredible results that you can see. Now, obviously, seeing is believing. So I like photos. They really tell an amazing story. All these photos are within 28 days or less. Now, why is it called Renew 28? Because healthy skin renews itself every 28 days. Now, all these are 28 days, but with the exception of this first one, it's actually 21. So it's only 3 weeks. And you can see the before and the after photo. It's interesting, this lady, her name is Redoon, she actually didn't think she was getting very good results until she saw the after photo, and she was blown away to see the incredible anti-aging effect that you can see in her neck. So whether it's the redness and the irritation from the challenge that can be embarrassing and humiliating that a lot of teenagers go through, or even if it's just wrinkles or sores on the face that just won't heal up, we're seeing these kind of results. Now, we talked about how our body produces less of these molecules as we age. This is a 93-year-old lady who had obviously a major surgery on her wrist, but the doctors were absolutely astounded to see after 3 weeks how this had healed, because at 93 years old, they're just happy if it heals at all, because the healing process just takes so much longer. The other thing that's interesting is Dermatest was blown away by the study on cellulite. They did a study that showed, and you can see the difference in 28 days for the cellulite that this lady was experiencing. And then around the mouth, here you can see the results. Here's more results, whether it's this sunburned back after applying the Renew 28, or around the neck. This is interesting, the arms, you can see the anti-aging before and after results here. Quite remarkable around the face and even the skin challenges on the hand that this person was experiencing. These are some before and after results with the full skincare line. So you can see around the mouth here. Also, look at the smoothness of the skin. Here's some more shots around the neck or around the eyes. You can just see it has an amazing effect over and over. I want to share a quick little story with you about Rosie. Rosie is from Texas. At 84 years old, it was her chiropractor that got her interested in these products. And after 7 weeks, she came into the chiropractor's office and she said, I want to cancel my orders. I want to get off these products. And he said, well, why is that, Rosie? She said, well, they obviously aren't doing anything for me. Now, the good news is he had taken a before photo, and they said, well, let's take another photo, see if we can see any difference. And she was astounded. If you look around, particularly around her eyes and around her neck, I mean, I don't know what you think. Personally, I think she looks about 20 years younger in this photo. Needless to say, Rosie stayed on the products. This is her at 86, and here's another photo of her at 87. And she's an avid product user of the ASEA's products, the Renew 28, and the Renew product, or the ASEA product. So there is a moral to that story, actually, just going back. It's always a good idea to take a before and after photo. It's a good idea to benchmark your results, because over time, sometimes we forget how we used to feel. So definitely get on the products, stay on the products. They work every single time. Athletes are having incredible results as well. We've got Olympic athletes. Cody Miller, for example, won 2 medals in the last Olympics. Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man. Bria Larson is also a gold medal athlete. And of course, all these athletes, there's so many athlete stories that we just don't have time to talk about a lot of them. But you can go to ASEA Athletes. Let's see. Do you remember the website for the athletes?
Isn't it Athlete Edge?
AthleteEdge.com. Also ASEAAthletes.com, I believe, is another website. Just lots of stories with incredible athletes that, and they use both of these products for their whole body. So the Renew 28 for their arms, legs, before, after an event, for example. And I just want to share with you one other story briefly here as we talk about the results that people are getting. And before I do that, I just want to throw out a little disclaimer that ASEA's products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. But we talked about in the beginning the reasons why people get involved with ASEA. And one of the reasons that I mentioned is people that we know, people that we care about that might be dealing with a health challenge or a health crisis. And I remember when I flew to Salt Lake City, and I'm sitting in this boardroom with the founders and the atomic medical physicists, and someone popped into my mind that I really needed to share this with, and his name is Dan Doyle. And Danny, this is a picture of Danny when he was 44 years old, and he looks pretty healthy and fit. He's got a pretty good six-pack going there. He had actually owned gyms. He's been a bodybuilder earlier on, but he said what was going on in his body was something he didn't even realize. He noticed a lump kind of underneath his ribs, and he went and had it checked, which led him to having some pretty serious treatments. In fact, the hospital was his second home. He had gone through major chemical therapy, and you can see there's not a hair on his head. He says there's not a hair on his body because of the treatment that he had gone through. After doing 2.5 years of these treatments, he was told to go home and get his affairs in order. And Danny was a fighter. He got on everything he could do for his diet nutritionally. And nevertheless, in November of 2014, when he flew to Salt Lake City, because I called Danny up and I said, you need to come to Salt Lake. You need to meet these people. I think I found something that can help. This is Danny. I want you to notice kind of the yellow around his eyes. He really doesn't look very healthy. But he fully jumped into these products and got on them. This is Danny a year later, December 2015. In fact, on this day, he had gone to his doctor and got a total clean bill of health. His blood work was totally normal. And then in 2018, I want you to notice, of course, he's been using the skincare products, and look at the radiance on his skin. What a difference from 2014, and even, quite frankly, from 2015. So the anti-aging effect you can see here as well. So these are the kind of results that we're seeing with people, life-changing results, and going from a place where he's told to get his affairs in order to instead sharing this with the world and changing lots of lives. So we're grateful that Danny's joined us in this incredible venture with ASEA as well.
A great way to look at the redox is from the perspective of it providing the labour for the cells. So what redox signaling molecules do is it pushes the genetic pathways to produce the workers, reads the DNA plans or blueprints of, say, building a house, and it also gives communication to the workers as to where to go, what they do. But the builder is only as good as the quality of the materials that he or she uses. And so what redox needs, because it has no nutritional value, redox signaling molecules have no nutritional value. They need the nutrition to already be present in the cell so that they can put that nutrition to work. And so really the picture is now being completed by ASEA because they've launched their nutrition range in September. And this is a great way of looking at it as an analogy. So redox signaling molecules provide the labour that detects, protects and rejuvenates cells, allowing nutrients, the materials that nourish the body, to be used properly by cells. And we're going to take a look at that. Here are the three brand new nutritional supplements from ASEA. It's LifeMax, Source and Biome. And you can now see really a completed picture, as I said, of cellular health from the inside out and cellular health from the outside in, which is what Bart's spoken about. Here's a great quote for you to help you better understand what this means. So redox signaling molecules and optimum nutrition are totally dependent on one another to achieve cellular health. Without food, there's no cellular health. But if your cells aren't healthy, you can't optimize your nutrition intake. So it's a cyclical relationship, and both are necessary for the other's survival and ability to thrive. So let's take a look at Source, because this is not another vitamin or supplement. ASEA go to great lengths to get the highest quality. They don't cut corners on the superfoods and the whole foods and the ingredients that they put in this nutritional range. So ASEA Via Source is a whole food-based micronutrient supplement that provides optimal support for cellular health and general wellness. Now, this product and the next two, they've been created to synergistically work together, and more importantly, in with these molecules. So Source, it contains an organic whole food blend of 24 superfoods, and it provides nutrient building blocks to work, as I said, synergistically with ASEA Redox. Now, it's not for sale right now in Australia, in the Australian market. It will be soon when they get TGA approval at the manufacturing facilities. So we have that to look forward to.
Yeah, but it's actually for sale. It's just not for resale. It's an NFR product.
So personal use only.
That's what the tag is. So it's easy to set up an account, order the product, and anyone that you want to share it with, they just need to set up an account as well.
Because it ships direct from the USA right now. When you look at the breakdown of what's actually in Source, interestingly, if you were to go into the supermarket and buy all the ingredients in Source, it would cost you $500 a month, or $180 if you break down if you get it all in different supplements. So that really gives you an idea or an insight into the quality. And it is for $55 plus shipping. So it works out to be less than $2 a day to get that nutrition into your cells for these molecules. So they've got a probiotic, but it's full spectrum. It's really special. It contains 16 probiotic strains, a prebiotic as well, and marshmallow root, which really helps to line the gut and provide a great passageway for the prebiotic and probiotic strains to get to work. So what it does is it soothes the digestive system, supports a healthy immune system. It definitely aids in mental well-being, because often the gut is referred to as the second brain. It helps to support healthy inflammatory response before it can get to the chronic stage, which is massive, because inflammation in the body creates massive oxidative stress and deterioration. It helps the body assimilate vitamins and minerals from the diet. And that's really important, because this whole range really is focused 100% on bioavailability or absolute maximum absorption. With this product here, LifeMax, you can test the increase of 32% with antioxidant activity in the blood work 30 minutes after you take this supplement, because this is a targeted cellular supplement. So it's an active lifestyle support supplement. It's formulated with 16 distinctive natural plant extracts shown to prevent the signs of aging throughout the body. Via LifeMax helps support a healthy inflammatory response and addresses cellular aging from the inside out. This product also helps with healthy cell division. So I mentioned earlier, rogue cells divide. They don't know they're rogue cells. The molecules help to get that rogue cell back into alignment through communication. This product helps the cells to divide naturally and normally, which is exactly what you want. So the benefits of LifeMax is it supports cardiovascular health, regulates healthy cell division. There'll be scientific studies released soon on that. Promotes normal inflammatory response, healthy cognitive function, balanced mood. It supports eye health, and it fights the outward signs of aging or wrinkle reduction. Now get with the person who invited you, because there's some product information sheets that really explain these three products in a lot more detail, and you really be able to see how they really work in with each other perfectly. And we have I never notice any difference when I take nutritional supplements my whole life. This one I absolutely have, in terms of balancing mood, with the biome in terms of my system working for the first time really in my whole entire life, and with the Source with elevated energy levels based on knowing that I've got the nutrition there in my body now. So it's been amazing. And here is actually a photo. Two of the ingredients, which are key ingredients in LifeMax, are Gotu kola and astragalus root. You can see this female 80 years old over 4 weeks. The difference, the before, the right side of her face before and left-hand side of the screen, and after. Look at that difference in cellular aging on the skin. So
and this isn't really with redox molecules. This is just with the nutritional. With the nutritional. So you combine those together, and you're going to have just an increased benefit.
No other company anywhere in the world has got this combination of these specific ingredients and the missing link with the redox molecules. So we're really very fortunate. Like anything, it's important to set correct expectations. So within a week, usually 10 to 15% of people notice a significant result. We set people up for 3-month trial on the product so that they can have their body readjust over that 3-month period, and 90+% of people notice significant results. Doesn't mean they're not working 100% of the time in 100% of the people. The molecules go where the body needs it to, not necessarily where we want it to straight away. So the 3-month period of time really gives you an opportunity to see how amazing these molecules and this nutrition or the materials in the cell can be. We're really fortunate because ASEA takes the validation of these molecules and their products very seriously, which makes it easy for us to talk to people about, because it's all third-party. There's studies that are randomised, placebo-controlled, double-blind studies of the highest scientific rigour, and that's on these molecules as well. One of the studies that was an absolute breakthrough in the industry is on ASEA being a key reason why there's an activation across 5 key areas of health in genetic pathways. ASEAscience.com is where you can go to get more information on the full study. It was an 8-week trial, and the research showed environmental factors actually switch off our genes. They do this all the time. But this group that was the 60 participants who were in this study, it showed 20 to 31% positive shift in the activation of 5 genetic pathways on the left-hand side here: vascular health, digestive, hormone, inflammation, immune system pathway. And they lead on to dozens of other pathways as well, but these were the key ones. A 2% shift is massive. This amount was absolutely profound. The scientists could not believe it. So we are very fortunate to have the backup and the studies and the papers in place to prove that this is actually the case. ASEAscience.com if you would like more information on safety studies, certifications, and you can download information. Here's some information that appeared in America's largest online publication called 5 Emerging Technologies in Science That Will Shape Our Lives in Coming Years. You can see redox signaling technology as number 4 on the list. As I read out earlier from Dr. Dick Walker, where he said that this technology we'll look back in 10 years and see this technology as the forefront, as the emerging, basically breakthrough leader in this industry. It's actually already happening.
So the marketing, this is a pretty cool thing. How did ASEA choose to market this product, and why? So just to start with, these are the 2 founders here, Bertus Norton and Tyler Norton. These are 2 remarkable people. You know, I'd say that you could have the best products in the world, and quite frankly, I believe that we do, but you have nothing unless you've got a company that with some switched on people that have integrity and some financial know-how and ability to kind of get through some of the challenging times as well. So Bertus was the vice president of Kraft Food for around a $40 billion industry. Tyler is also a Fortune 50 executive in the financial industry. And it's to listen to the whole story, it's called, you can see the website here, ASEAgenesis.com. So it's the story of the beginning, how the company really started. And so what they did is through a whole series of events, actually Bertus was invited to be on the board of a biotech company that was struggling. And when that company had some financial challenges that they couldn't sort through, they ended up acquiring this technology. And actually, let me just go back here. One of the things they did is they took a test pilot group of 40 people and put them on the product, 6 of whom were told to go home and get their affairs in order. Similar to my friend Danny, they were told that they were terminal. And they put this test group of people on the product. They told them that they had free access to as much of the product as they wanted. They came back in 2 months and discovered that this group of 40 had turned into 135 people in 20 different countries. These people were having incredible benefits. Well, it was at this time that they actually met with a pharmaceutical company, because they were actually looking to go ahead. They had perfected the technology. They were looking to flip this like a business deal, like a piece of real estate or something. But the pharmaceutical company said, look, you've really got your hands on something special. We're going to make you an offer that's so big you won't want to go anywhere else. but there's one condition. And they said, well, what's that? And they said, well, you're going to have to shut it down. In other words, you're going to have to take 135 people off the product, and there was really a serious concern that they were going to shelve it. And so they literally turned down this offer from a major pharmaceutical company, and they said no to the big payout and yes to the people. And so as we look at this, they looked at the different ways of marketing the product, and without question, the very best form of marketing is word of mouth. And so that's how they chose to market this. In fact, some friends of Virtus says, this is the kind of product that would really market well through a network marketing model. And so it's pretty remarkable to see where we're at right now. That was the method that they chose. And right now we are at a remarkable time. And in fact, all of the projections show that we are in a place where ASEA is moving into a momentum stage. It's a very special time to be involved with this company. It's post-startup, pre-momentum. The global sales and the projections are looking very, very good, particularly as we expand into to lots of countries, but particularly the Asian market. Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, Thailand, Taiwan, those are all markets that are happening right now. So let me just give you a little bit of information about the company. They've been profitable in their first year of operations. They own their own manufacturing facility. They've got distribution centers globally, and we are positioned ahead of the growth in the health and wellness industry, athletic performance, and anti-aging industries. So what happens is you share this with people, and they share it with people. You create a network, distribution channels, if you will, and you get paid a percentage of those global sales that happen by simply sharing this product, share this technology with other people. You can create distribution centers in, for example, America, Asia, Europe, simply by sharing this with other people. So, the way to get started is simply you can choose how you want to get started. Most people come in with what we call a business pack. There's obviously incentives for getting some more product to get started. Business pack, you've got sample tubes to share with other people. You've got a couple of cases of products and some 8 tubes of Renew 28, for example. And you're also set up with loyalty points. There's some other packages too, so just get with the person who introduced you to this and they can help you to get started. So what now? Yeah, well, it depends on where you see yourself, really. And a lot of people start first and foremost by being consumers or product users. Particularly now we have the ASEA Via, it's really easy to get started and actually start to notice significant benefits in that regard. People then tend to naturally share with other people based on their results, their conviction, their understanding of the products, this profession, and more importantly, the company. And then what we did is we knew right from the beginning that our goal was to build a legacy income, simply because we've been in this profession a long time. We understand that the more money we earn because of the value we add to the lives of other people, the more we can help people around us from that level of abundance. And it's been an absolute joy, our journey. We've been so fortunate to travel the world, to be able to live where we want, work when we want, to be able to, as Bart mentioned earlier, have friends all across the globe that we never would have met had it not been for this company. And more importantly, it comes down to helping people with their health, like that phone call Bart made to Dan Doyle, and the phone calls that I've made to change the lives of people that I deeply care about and love. And so it's not about me, and it won't be about you. It's going to be about the people that you help and the lives that you change, and that will define your story, because at the end of the day, we're here to really help Virtus Norton fulfill his mission, which is to get these molecules out, because they are a piece of the future that arrived here early when it comes to the stabilisation. We've got the competitive advantage. Nobody else will catch us. They can't get broken through these patents, and we just feel truly, truly blessed to be able to be where we're at today, thanks to making the decision to move forward with ASEA. Absolutely. Just a great group of people. This is obviously this picture of Virtus with us, we're with Virtus, and it's just as you build this and as you share it with people, there's also incentive trips. This is a Diamond Summit trip that we were on. There's Danny in the middle. our recommender, our sponsor, is Ed Weens on the end, and his wife on bookends, actually. But it is a great group of people that we're excited to be associated with.
One thing we were aware of at the time when we looked at ASEA, we were rewriting our story again. And one thing is, we did not want to be at the end of our life thinking, oh, I just figured out what I want to do with it. For those of you who are looking to rewrite your story, simply help other people, take a serious look at ASEA and make an educated decision. If it's definitely not for you, look into it far enough where you're educated and you know that for sure. And if it is, we look forward to meeting you, look forward to the lives that you're going to change and how your life will be transformed in the process, because that's just naturally what happens. It's a byproduct of ASEA. And the products are for everybody. Everybody needs to know about these products. And yeah, if you want to be at the right place at the right time, this is definitely it. Here's Vertus again. He said, we are all at the start of something with great purpose. And right now is the moment that we begin influencing the future. We can change the world. And we invite you to join us in that mission and in this journey. So thank you very much for being with us tonight. Next Wednesday night, we have Double Diamond Associate David He from Melbourne, who will be featuring on this one webinar only session now at 7:30 p.m. Queensland time. So bring as many people online as possible to leverage off us and to put your time to work. And we'll be excited to, right now we're just going to stop the recording, and if you've got some questions at all, we can handle in the chat box. We're happy to do so. Sure, and get with the person who invited you to the call tonight, and let's and get started. So thank you very much. We'll just stop the recording.